Before we get started, I skipped an intro slide, but I do want to thank the City of Scottsdale real quick. I'm the account manager for Scottsdale, so really just want to thank everyone that was involved from the city, all the way from the engineering team. I got to work with Scott Anderson the most, to, of course, the IT folks, Sam Adams and Jason Brailsford team, that really want to say thank you to the entire City of Scottsdale for working with them on this project and also allowing us to feature them with this presentation. So want to start off with that, and also want to just mention that we are not showing any of Scottsdale's data specifically. So Nathan will be going through the software and some screenshots, but just want to preface that we're not showing any quote unquote live data or SCADA data directly from their system. But thanks everyone for joining today. Again, we'll be talking about really our new cloud platform and Info360, our new enterprise platform, with a focus on our first application in Info360 Insight. But for those of you who are not familiar with Innovyze as a company, this is just a quick slide, a little bit about us. As Cristina mentioned, we are a global company. So we're in the top 6 of the 7 major continents. We are a global company with offices in the UK and Australia. Nathan and I are both here in the United States, as Cristina mentioned, so we help support our client base here in the United States. But the most important thing, as Cristina mentioned, is maybe the little emblem that's added under our logo now in Autodesk. So we are a part of Autodesk now. Personally, I used a lot of Autodesk products in my consulting days, and I'm honestly thrilled about what I think is a kind of a final home for Innovyze here. And I think it's a great fit considering our product lines don't really overlap. And I think it's a good opportunity for Autodesk and Innovyze to kind of build out, that portfolio all the way from the design phase through the construction phase as well. And so just real quick, for those of you who are not terribly familiar with Innovyze, this is just a brief overview of the product lines, I guess, or solutions that we offer. So a lot of folks are probably mostly familiar with these first two in terms of our hydraulic modeling solutions. So those are the InfoSwim users of the world, the ICM users of the world, the InfoWorks WS and InfoWater Pro users of the world. So I think most folks on the call are probably pretty familiar with our modeling solutions that, of course, have been used for decades. But what we're really focused on with our new cloud-based platform, and that is Info360, is some of the, I would say, more live data, more robust solutions in terms of the data that we're bringing in to actually run a simulation or run an analysis. So with asset management and operational analytics, there's a lot of work order data, a lot of SCADA data, a lot of meter data. There's a lot of data sources that we're collecting for our asset management and operational analytics solutions. So that's where we decided at Innovyze it was time to kind of transform really our product line. So at the highest level, I guess for the folks on the call, the point I want to kind of drive across here in terms of the entire platform is we want to have an enterprise platform that is really open to anybody your utility to use. So if it's an operator, if it's an engineer, if it's a manager, if it's someone in the field, if it's your consultant, for example, we really want to be able to house all of that live data that I was just referencing in a platform that is able to process it efficiently, and it's able to do analytics on it. And then in turn, you can bring any of those data points and any of those analytics into our desktop modeling solutions as well. So that's really the idea with our cloud platform. It's an online platform. So again, it's really meant to be used by anybody in your organization. But really the benefit from my standpoint or from an engineering standpoint is you can bring in, any of those data points that are being processed. So you're processing the raw data, in this case, SCADA data with Insight. You can bring that into the model and utilize it for planning and engineering. So that's really where we got this title from in terms of bridging the gap. A lot of our customers, it's been a linear relationship, I would say, where, live data or something comes in through your SCADA system. You have an operations team that might utilize that on a daily basis, but it doesn't really get opened up and utilized throughout the entire organization. So that's really what we're trying to get at with this platform. It's an enterprise platform that opens up the live analytics and really, all the data that you're collecting as a utility. And this is just another visual kind of showing what I just went through there. But just to kind of recap again, Info360 is the online platform. So Info360 is the platform, and there will be different applications. The application we're focused on today is called Info360 Insight. So that is an operational analytics application that basically hooks up to your distribution system SCADA system, any meter data, any of that live data that's being collected on your distribution system. That's really what we're going to focus on today. I'm not going to focus on some of the other applications of this platform, but there is, you'll be seeing a lot more from Innovyze in terms of Info360 Asset. So not many people have heard of that application yet, but that's really the next application of this platform. That's our asset management application for our Info360 platform. And then real quick, just to talk about some key features with Info360 Insight specifically. So again, we're talking about one application of the Info360 platform, but Info360 Insight is, again, the really distribution system application that hooks up to your SCADA system, hooks up to consumption data. It can hook up to really any live data source that's being collected on your distribution system. And some of the benefits listed here in terms of Info360 Insight, really a lot of folks have a SCADA system and SCADA software that's associated with that. So that's one kind of clear differentiator here that I want to kind of hit on is we are really doing a lot of analytics and processing of that data. So we store your data in certain time intervals so that we can do a lot of really cool analytics that Nathan's going to talk about in terms of water loss and like break detections and stuff like that. So that's where, when we store your data in a very clean time series format, we can start to perform a lot of different analytics and build different dashboards that really, we can look at the performance of the system and track the performance of the system over time. There's a lot of different analytical tools I mentioned, like a mass, we basically break out each pressure zone into a mass balance equation. And then that way we can build on it with different analytics from water loss to, again, break and leak detections and things like that. One thing I do want to hit on real quick is the hydraulic model integration. So for those of y'all that are InfoWater Pro or InfoWater users, that's one of the main benefits of this platform as well. Is, again, we're not bringing in raw data into our hydraulic models. We're bringing in process data. So we can bring in our diagonal curves, pump curves, any of those data points that you need to calibrate or keep your model up to date. Those are all things that can be incorporated into Info360 Insight that you can bring them into your model as well. And I won't focus too much on the bottom left because I want to give Nathan the opportunity to highlight those in the software as well. But really at the highest level, the platform does offer the opportunity to really open it up for your operations folks as well. So there is a new tool called the incident management tool. That's really exactly as it sounds, an incident management tool where if an asset goes offline or you have a break or a leak, you can look at different scenarios or different ways to address the problem. Using the hydraulic engine that's within the Info360 platform. So Nathan will touch a little bit on that and within the platform and how it's being used at Scottsdale. But with that, I do want to turn it over to Nathan now so that he can talk about a little bit about how we're using this platform over at the City of Scottsdale.